where the state of the presidential race has taken a fiery turn in the state of North Carolina after a Republican county office was attacked yesterday. Here's how the executive director of the North Carolina Republican Party, Dallas Woodhouse, described it.
This is a horrific act of political terrorism, one that we will not succumb to, and one that we will answer.
And in the wake of the firebombing of that Orange County Republican headquarters, let's talk about the state of the race. To do so, we're pleased to be joined by talk show host and political commentator Allyn Root, Skyping in from Las Vegas. Wayne, of course, the 2008 Libertarian candidate for vice president, and he is the author of the book, Angry White Male: How the Donald Trump Phenomenon is Changing America and What We Can All Do to Save the Middle Class. Wayne, as always, thanks for your time on Newsmax Prime. So Donald Trump tweets after the attack condemning it. Here's what the Donald had to say. Animals representing Hillary Clinton and Dems in North Carolina just firebombed our office in Orange County because we are winning. And then what's very interesting is that CNN's Brian Stelter blamed Donald Trump. This is hard for me to believe, so I got to spit it out here. He blamed Donald Trump's quote there as overheated rhetoric that led to this situation. Here's the way it looked on reliable sources on CNN yesterday.
We have no idea who's done this. We don't know if it's a Republican, a Democrat, a movement. No idea. Could be some sort of extremist, some sort of radical. Hopefully we'll get more information soon. But that kind of action is unacceptable. And we need to have the temperature come down on all sides right now. Unfortunately, Donald Trump is the lead in terms of raising the temperature at this moment in time.
So there he is blaming Trump for the Republican office getting firebombed.
Well, of course, you realize, and everyone watching right now realizes, that every time somebody walked into a Trump event during the primaries, there was a liberal outside hired by George Soros to literally incite violence, who would scream at us, who would use the F word, who would use curse words, who would call us all terrible people and racist. And if somebody tried to defend themselves or answer back, it was blamed on the Trump people. Donald Trump incites violence. No liberals incite violence. George Soros incites violence. Hillary Clinton incites violence. And by the way, if an NAACP office was firebombed, it would be the biggest news in America. It would be blamed on Donald Trump. But when a Republican Trump headquarters is firebombed, it's also blamed on Donald Trump, because everything's blamed on Donald Trump. It's very clear, JD. Everything is Donald Trump's fault. The fact that we got in a civil war must be Donald Trump's fault. The fact that Pearl Harbor was bombed must be Donald Trump's fault. It's really laughable how bad the media is, how pathetic the media is. But I could just tell you, if the shoe was on the other foot, and this was either a Democratic, a Hillary, or an NAACP office firebomb, biggest news in America and blamed on Trump. This one's hidden. Forget about that one report that blamed Trump. This just isn't being discussed. No one cares. It will never be the top of anyone's news when it happens to us.
Well, that's why we're here on Newsmax TV, because after all, we're not the media, and we're trying to shine some light on this, which brings me to Wednesday night's debate. And I got to tell you, Mr. Trump has a gift for striking a responsive chord, albeit a controversial one in some quarters. On the stump in New Hampshire Saturday, he said that both he and Hillary should take a pre-debate drug test. Here's Donald in his own words.
I think we should take a drug test prior to the debate. I think we should. Why don't we do that? We should take a drug test prior, because I don't know what's going on with her. But at the beginning of her last debate, she was all pumped up at the beginning. And at the end, it was like, oh, take me down.
So I got a kick out of that. And to tell you the truth, I think it's a great idea. What say you?
Well, I say that Donald always resonates with people. He always strikes a chord. Now, whether it's the Muslim ban or the Mexican judge or the Muslim dad, Gold Star dad, he gets in trouble for this stuff. But then when people think about it and talk about it and hash it out, it almost always turns out he was kind of right, maybe what he said should have been toned down a little bit. But the reality is he was always right. Like, the Mexican judge. It sounded terrible, but the reality was he was a member of La Raza, and of course he was never going to give it a fair trial to Donald Trump. And the Muslim Gold Star dad, Trump should have toned it down, shouldn't have attacked parents of the kid who died. But he was right that guy was paid off by Hillary. He was literally on the payroll of the Clinton campaign. He was at a law firm that represented illegals coming into America. That was his business. And then he had his IRS tax debt taken away in return for appearing at the convention. So Donald was right. It was not a normal Gold Star dad. He's always right. So same thing with Hillary. Is he saying that she's very sick? I guess what he's saying is we don't know. Something's wrong. She appears to be much healthier during debates than she does just walking around speaking, campaign events. She always seems to have coughing attacks. She has had 5 fainting spells. She's been helped upstairs. Something's wrong. So maybe at the debate, he's saying she's pumped up with something that's getting her so high with energy. And maybe it's an illegal drug, or maybe it's a drug we should all know about. So liberals, of course, JD, will say Donald misspoke again. He's putting her down. He's denigrating her. He's saying she's a sick old woman. Well, I think the American people have a right to know what's wrong with Hillary. Not only should there be a drug test, I think it should be an independent panel of doctors that studies both Hillary and Donald Trump, puts them through a battery of tests, and reports back to the American people.
That sounds good. Now, listen,
ago.
got to get your 30 seconds on this. The debate is coming to you, right where you live in Las Vegas. What's the mood out there?
I'm at the state.
So you're going to be there. Great. What are you sensing from people there in Vegas? 20 seconds.
I'm very proud. I'm a guest of the Donald Trump campaign, and I'm sensing that this is the most exciting thing that's ever happened in the history of Vegas, other than maybe Elvis and the Beatles. So it's Elvis, the Beatles, and Donald Trump, kind of not necessarily in that order. It's a great shot in the arm for the Vegas economy, great advertisement for Vegas, and Vegas is a place where showmen thrive. Showmen come here, and they always bring out their best.
The only difference is what happens in Vegas won't stay in Vegas. It'll affect the election. Wayne Allyn Root, we very much appreciate your time tonight from Las Vegas. Still to come, well, the hits just keep on coming for Hillary Clinton, courtesy of WikiLeaks. Famed attorney Alan Dershowitz will join us to discuss some of those surprising findings as Newsmax Prime continues.